All right, y'all. I'm back again. Um, I'm like I told y'all in my other video. I'm probably gonna bombard y'all with a lot of content today. Um, so this is my second uh, video for the day, and after my kind of rant earlier, I kind of want to make this a little bit more chill. Look, I want to talk about something that is not getting enough credit and praise. Um, One of the things I critiqued Gentry on last year is I didn't feel like he used Zoe enough on off-ball situations to get him open. What I mean by that is, you know, long-standing wisdom is if you want to get open, set somebody screen, set someone pin down, set a pick. Um, I feel like they didn't use him off ball to do that enough. I've started to see a lot of two-man game between Zion and Zoe, where Zoe is the pick man, he's the screener, and Zion is he's the, let me say it differently. Zoe sets the screens, Zion is the ball handler, and it's been pretty effective because Zion's attention and gravity is so great. And when people talk about they need to run more plays for Zoe, this is actually a play for Zoe. Zion's gravity is so great, he drags two defenders, leaving Zoe open for the three ball, which is why he's been getting really good looks recently. So they do run plays for him. They just don't run designated high post action stuff like that. They don't run the fancy, flashy shit, but they do run plays for Zoe. Um, it's just, but basically, their stuff is to get him open for the three. Um, but back to the point. Look, Lonzo is partly having a much more effective year because they're actually using him more as an off-ball utility in the offense, which is what should have been going on. Let's think about this. Zoe probably when he came into the league, he was 6'6", about 190. Right now, he's probably somewhere between 210 and 220. I'd probably say around 214, 215 if I had to guess. Um, So he's got a lot more size on him. He's been setting some really good picks and screens that have gotten Bi going. They've gotten Zion open, um, and it's really worked out for him. It's worked out for the entire team. I think, and again, and I've told you guys, if you guys have followed me for any length of time, I said I think they need to run more horns, which they have. I've said I need to see a little bit more Spain pick and roll. I've seen it here and there, not enough for my liking. And I wanted to see more Zoe off ball. I've seen that this year. All of these things have attributed to him growing as a player. But more importantly, too, his offseason work with Chris Johnson and Keita Trainer was it Key? Yeah, I think it's Keita Trainer. His paid dividends for them, or for him. Well, for them too. Uh, Again, I gave you guys the time ranges of when he would ascend. It's happened right on schedule. Um, and I even told you, I broke it down to the point where I even told you, if you count the preseason is some of his in-game reps and warm-ups, it would happen around 13, 14 games for him, which indeed it did. I was even right on that. You know, all of this stuff is inconsistency with with who he is and the type of player he's supposed to be. Look, I like Zoe on ball. I really do. And she's with the toolbox and the confidence he's got, he knows he can attack and get to the rim at will, and he can finish, and he can go to the free throw line and knock the shots down. What has disappeared recently to me is the mid range. I have not seen so much mid range from him. It is bothering me. There's points in the game last night where I was yelling, go to the mid range, go to the mid range, go to the mid range. I'm not sure why that is. Um, we'll see how the season plays out and go from there. I would like to see him take that mid range more. I also want to see him develop a post game from that mid range this offseason. So I hope Chris Johnson and Key work with him on that a lot exclusively. Um, but look, he's shown right now. Look, I'm ascending in all categories. I'm great defensively. I can knock down my free throws, which was the biggest knock. I'm increasing every game. It seems like I'm getting to the line more. You know, he was perfect last night. Put him at 74%, highest of his career. Highest of his career. And guess what? That's not bad. He That means 7 out of 10 times he's gonna hit. I could take that to the bank. You ultimately want him in the 80s, but 73% ain't bad. That's still majority of the shots is going in. You know, I'll take that to the bank. You can't have him shooting 41%. That's a no-no. But as we've seen, he's worked at it. And him getting, one of the complaints that used to be put out there, especially by Stephen A. Smith, was Lonzo used to stand around and camp. Well, part of the thing was he had to wait for the pass. That's all he had to do. Stan has the presence of mind, and people don't give him enough credit. And I know people critique him. I critique him too. But we got to give the guy credit. He has decided to use Lonzo as a screener. Lonzo has the metrics of a small forward, of a wing. Using him to get screening situations, which opens up his ability to attack out of it. Zion, when they're isolated, and that's happened in Chicago's game yesterday, in the game before that against Houston, there's a two-man game going with Zion and Zoe, where Zoe is acting as a screener and Zion pulls threat. Well, now Zoe gets wide open three, but if they smart and they cover Zion in a way that they can easily jump on Zoe, guess what? Zoe is now in point guard position where he has the ball and he can attack and playmate. He had a situation like that last night where he did the dump off pass, a really good one by that, to Billy Hernangomez, because he wants to be called Billy. And guess what? Capitalized on it. There's still opportunities for him to be pick and roll and point guard and all this other stuff. And so I'm not tripping on the little nuanced shit like that. But I want people to start valuing all the other stuff he's doing. Again, the picks he's setting to get these guys open. I'm telling you, like, having him as a utility. This is, to my argument about the LaMelo versus Zoe thing the other day. LaMelo doesn't go out there and help his teammates like that. He don't. You can reliably get Zoe to set picks and pin downs for you to get you open, and he can draw threat enough to shoot. That's another area of the game that he's better at LaMelo at, but people aren't going to talk about that because guess what? That doesn't show up in the box score. You know what I'm saying? It's little things like that that make him such a dynamic and useful player. The offensive efficiency of him is increasing in the sense that he's not just increasing the offense when he's on the ball, he's increasing it when he's off the ball. That is what makes a dynamic player. How can you affect the game when you're off the ball? The greatest off-ball effector of the game is Steph Curry. And I've always said, it's like, when I look at him like a video game character, especially if you're playing like RPGs, Final Fantasy, and stuff like that, they have what's called passive abilities. Steph has a passive ability that no matter when he steps foot on the court, defenses have to stretch to him. No matter where he is, they have to follow him. Period. Which automatically elevates everybody else on the court with him just because he exists on the court. That is ridiculous. If Steph is at half court, guess what defenses have to do? They have to pull forward. What happens when your defense has to pull forward? You're giving more area of range of motion for players to attack and cut with. Players are getting higher efficiency just by him existing on the court if they play right. That is like, if we're talking about basketball, that is basketball pornography. You can't get better than that. Zoe is starting to do better. And oh, by the way, Steph is a really good pick in screen setter too. I've seen some stuff he's done to get Clay open at times. So becoming a total basketball player has so much to do with his off-ball ability. Superstar players, and I've seen Jason Maple say this, shout out to that dude. That dude knows his game. And he's also a coach, if I'm not mistaken. So shout outs to him. If he does see this video, hey man, I salute you, bro. You always give great commentary. Shout outs to you, brother. But He's even said, like, if you're going to be a superstar player, you got to be able to play off the ball. You got to. Like, the game has evolved. It used to be so much on ball and what you do on ball. Now it's how can you affect the game in the most ways. Like, the players who are going to get the biggest bucks are the players that have the most versatility. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Obviously, if you're a two-way player and you're a shooter, you're gonna get paid. But when you have a whole bunch of skills that you bring in one package, it gives you versatility in lineups. You can play people all over the court. See, here's the thing about Zoe. When Zoe first came in, you couldn't play him any place other than point guard, but you could put him defensively in a couple different places. This year showing you can play Zoe at point guard, small forward, or shooting guard. Do you know how much versatility that gives a team? When they say, okay, I can play this guy in so many different places. Where he can properly set picks, pin downs, screens. He can recognize defensive rotations and where his teammates have messed up and go and make the closeout to cover for their mistakes. And so now the team is like, oh shit, we're good. Zoe took care of it. Great. It brings that little bit of stuff, and he did that last night in Chicago. He went from the strong side of the court to the weak side before the pass even was made to get there, just to go cover up because he saw what was going to happen. Again, high IQ, technical stuff that does not show up in the box score. You're not going to see that he prevented a jump shot in the box score. You're not. But his play prevented the score. He prevented a shot attempt. That kind of stuff is what you want in your basketball players. That is why Lonzo is necessary for so many teams. He's a young guy, and he came into the league with this. Melo has a little bit of the understanding, but his motor on that side ain't what Lonzo's is. What has saved Lonzo in this last 2 years is his motor on offense is catching up with his motor on defense. That's really all it was. The motor is catching up. But all of that was an emotional mind state issue. Again, toolbox, confidence in yourself, knowing what to do in those situations. Those things take time. I've constantly told people it takes 4 to 5 years for a point guard to fully learn how to play the position and master it and bloom into what they're supposed to be. This is year 4. It takes time. Centers is a hard position to play in this league too. They take a while. They take almost as much time as it takes to play point guard. But look, we gotta also celebrate. And I know people care about the box score stuff, but the non-box score stuff also needs to be celebrated because when it comes to coaching, that's the stuff that wins games. And a lot of players, especially young players, don't make that. The Pelicans don't know how fortunate they are to have Lonzo there. I know there was an article that came out yesterday that was talking about there's no reason to trade Lonzo unless you're getting like another stud back. Because if Lonzo leaves the team, we can tell what happens when he leaves the court. When he leaves the court, the drop off is, you can feel it. You can absolutely feel it when Lonzo is on. If you could, and you could get maximum, if Lonzo had the stamina to play 48 minutes, you would play him all 48 minutes. He would never leave the court. Same thing with Beyond Zion. You would play them the entire game. You would never let them come off the court because their value is just so great. All the little stuff that they do. Look, for all the good things Kira does, Kira don't understand the technical aspects of the game that Zoe does. Zoe knows when to make those cuts and stuff, and when to, okay, I need to help off here and do this. Now, sometimes his IQ gets him into trouble because, again, he wanted to go help off of Zach LaVine to go close out when he should have just stayed and let that guy Thaddeus Young take that three. He'll still get better with that, and he's still learning. And for the most part, he plays at the highest efficiency. He'll still make mistakes because he's still 23. And again, he's just now over, in that 3 year of games, threshold. But the thing is, he's not getting enough credit for this other stuff. All this, the off-ball movement, I can't put it into words how valuable that is. Kobe White was shooting the lights out yesterday. But I got a question for you. What if Kobe White wasn't shooting the lights out yesterday and all they had was Zach LaVine? This would have been a completely different game. And Kobe White can't affect the game the same way Lonzo does. See, and you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I've been saying this for several videos now. Lonzo is a chatterbox now on defense. He's out there quarterbacking the defense. Hey, switch. Hey, stay here. He's putting people. See, he's point guarding. He's point guarding on the defense. He's just like Draymond Green. He is sitting there making sure people know what's coming. He is calling out the plays. He is letting them know what's up. He's telling them what to watch out for. He is positioning them. Part of the reason they've been effective is him on the defensive end. It's him and Steven Adams. And then when you have him, the Lakers trio plus Steven Adams and Zion, they're really good. But I'm telling you, his value to a team right now is astronomically high. He's not getting the support that he needs in that. It's always the box score stuff, and I get it. I'm almost to the point where I don't care about the box score with him anymore because I already know what he's going to give me. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. He's still peaking. He's still ascending. He's still getting his efficiency up there. I'm telling you, it's possible. Like, my personal thoughts is he's going to finish 44 to 45% field goal shooting for the season. He's going to be around 78% free throws. And he's probably going to finish 41% from three. That is my guesstimation. He'll probably be somewhere between 16 to 17 points per game by the end of the season if this keeps up. And I'm telling you right now, good luck telling him you can't pay him max money. Because I don't know where you're going to get a guy. Let's just assume, matter of fact, we won't even have to assume that. Let's just assume his numbers stay where they are. 14, 5 and 5, two-way player, passer, like point guard who can play three positions and can give you what you need in versatility. Even if you want to say it's not max money, I don't get how he's not getting upper level money. You see what I'm saying? He does so much. He does so much. Like, when you're able to do so much, you're way more valuable. This is even in the real world. If you're in corporate America, the more skills you have, the more valuable you are to a company. Because they don't have to go hire as many other people when they can make you do the work. Or they can put it to you. You can handle all of that stuff. It saves the company money. So when you go into an interview, one of the things just be like, when they ask you, hey, why should we hire you? Because I can save you money. Ding. Company's going to be like, wait a minute. You can save us money. That's the whole point, is for us to make money and save money. If we hire this one guy, he can do all this stuff and save us money. Noted. Just some free game. And it's just free game for some of you guys that may be younger. You're going out there looking for a job, man. If you could clearly outline how you could save a company some money, and you're not full of shit, that'll get you in the door in a lot of places. Just FYI. But because I don't know who all. I know my channel is most people between like 18 and like 35. So I'm 33. If you want to get your head in the door or any place, man, especially a major corporation, show them you can save them money. Like, outline it. Don't just say you can do it. Be like, okay, this is what I do. Have a resume. Literally have a resume for your resume. This is my proof of concept. Just FYI. But yeah, man. Look. Him playing off ball, all the work he did this offseason. I gotta say this, and then I'm gonna close this video out. Can you guys imagine where Zoe would be if he had not had the injury because of those big ball fucking shoes his first 2 years, and he had actually had off seasons to work? Think about how much time he lost to develop if he had only had the off season. If he could have got with Key and Chris Johnson his rookie year after his rookie year, and they could have got him right. It's time you can't get back, so you got to value every minute that you have and make the most of it. Peace.